Welcome to another episode of the Starter Girls Podcast with your host, Jennifer Loading.
And Brianna Drillis, and together we are the Starter Girls.
Where extraordinary decisions produce extraordinary results. These are our friends, these are your friends, and they are living the extraordinary. Today's episode is brought to you by Walt Mills Photographer of Glad Models Agency. If you are here in the Dallas or surrounding area and looking for some photography work, check out Walt Mills. You can learn more about him and his work at photosbywalt.com. Additionally, we want to give a shout out to our friends at the Studio Dallas. The Studio Dallas is the best kept secret here in the Dallas podcasting world. If you are looking for a studio with top-notch technology, video and audio recording capabilities, as well as a production team to make things go smoothly, Studio Dallas is the place to be. You can learn more about them through us at startergirls@gmail.com.
You can also head over to startergirls.com where you can pick up your free gift. We want to keep in touch with you outside of the podcast, and we have a little something there that's going to help you up-level those decision-making skills. So head over to startergirls.com and pick that up today.
Absolutely. All right. I think it's time to get started.
Yes, let's go.
All right. Today's a great day to be brave. You might as well start now. You have the power to change your circumstances any day you decide. Let today be that day. Rise up. Be amazing. Be you. Do you. All right, my friends, I'm super excited to welcome Scott Ferguson to the show. He is the host of the Time to Shine podcast. His mission, I love this, is to not have anyone feel like they have no one. I love this. Scott's story was highly sought after by people in the entertainment business, which he was not ready to share until now. At Time to Shine today, Scott shares knowledge nuggets to help individuals and teams to level up both in business and personal. Scott is a veteran of the United States Navy with multiple deployments to Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia, all occurring in the, of course, early 1990s. He's an active podcaster, real estate junkie, investor. He loves to give, live intentional, loves the beast, jiu-jitsu, fitness, yoga, and volunteering. So welcome to the show, Scott. We're super thrilled to have you here today.
I am blessed here, Loading. It's finally I get to come on yours after I have you on mine. I'm just so blessed and also to meet Brianna. This is amazing.
Yes, we're so happy
Absolutely.
to have you, and Jennifer speaks so highly of you and of your podcast as well, and it's just really great to have you here. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, this is fun too
Again.
because Scott and I, it's funny because we kind of met through, Karen Gray, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Scott and I met through Karen. We kind of know the same circle of people. And so we didn't really do like a conversation. I just kind of went on his podcast. And so it was kind of like the first time we'd sort of talked and met. And so this is kind of like the first time he's coming back on this direction. So we were talking about, like writing reviews and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm going to get you on my podcast because I feel like I'm going to get some more like nuggets of information that I need to know. So this is fun. I'm super glad to have you here. I'm excited. I want to start off really, I think, talking about your podcast because you are doing really, really well with this. And so many people we know, podcasting is kind of really emerging out. We just did a show a few minutes ago recording somebody else who's all into the podcast world. He actually coaches people to help them with podcasts. So I really just kind of want to talk about like how you got into this and you tell us a little bit about this and what you're doing to make this thing successful.
Time to Shine today, my company is about 10 years old and it's really built on an affiliate marketing platform. Like I'm blessed to be able to look at the Atlantic Ocean right now, and my other room over here is filled with swag that companies send me to do reviews. And then I have a list of like 120,000 email subscribers that get really good deals on brand new stuff that helps them level up their health, wealth, and mindset. And I have a radio show here in South Florida called South Florida Real Estate Business and Lifestyle. So I have like the face for radio, so I was able to like build a following down here. And the producer's like, you have this company, why don't you build a podcast around your company? And so I started thinking, how can I build it? So, we don't want to have anyone to feel like they have no one, which kind of goes back to my story in the past, that I was like, if I interview coaches, people of influence, consultants, whatnot to help people level up, it goes back to my credo of being able to give until it hurts so good. And that's how the podcast really went. And it just really caught fire. I do some marketing. But now I am sponsored per episode. So I'm able to take a lot of that money and get the people that I interview on in their local stations on like AM and FM terrestrial radio. But also I'm able to just get them more listeners. And my whole goal is to get them clientele through their podcast interview. So usually someone will come on, the podcast will drop, and usually within 3 or 4 months of a gestation period, I'm able to get them business through our podcast episode. So it's just it's been an amazing ride. It's joyful. I have an awesome team that is literally sitting here in the room with me, and just like we just have a blast and a lot of fun.
So you got people sitting in the room listening to this. How awesome.
Yeah, they're not allowed to talk though.
As I say, you can tell them to wave at us. We chime our people in sometimes over here. You know, it's all good. It's all good. We like to have fun over here. I think that's great. And you just got, so you do a paid per episode. Didn't you tell me that you just got sponsored? Something big happened?
Yeah, big one. We got like we're in negotiations right now, and we're really going to ink the deal probably next week with Indeed.com. You know, the job search site. It's gonna be pretty lucrative on that. And then XM Radio, my show launches. They're launching a new inspiration channel. It's supposed to have been in March, but now they're saying July. But my show got picked up by XM on 2 Thursdays a month, and so it's pretty nice. It's a nice little kind of income generator, if you will. But again, we get to get the message out from people that I interview, like yourself, Lodang, when you came on. To be able to give awesome content and stuff that they can run with and level up their life.
Killer. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thanks, Brianna. Appreciate that.
That's so awesome. And he's being like so calm about it.
I
I'd be
know,
like,
it's so
Scott,
cool.
we got to do some cartwheels here.
Let's
know?
go!
We got to like,
Trust
I
me,
mean, I would just
get
be
fired
like,
up.
I mean, as a fellow podcaster, I mean, that is like, you know, like when you're in this industry, that is like ideal is to have those things play out. You know, there's no easy road to get to that. You do the work to get there. Well, obviously, you've been doing this for a while and worked on that. But I think when you reach those like moments where you have that, it's like, man, my work is paid off. You know?
It's funny you say that because I look at it, and when I first launched it, was a passion project, you know? And it just kind of morphed into where it was because the work, obviously, that me and the team put into it. But, you know, I was taught by a mentor at a young age to say, you know, you do things for the intention and not the attention. And when you do that, you just get banked. That's the bottom line. The universe or your God or whoever you believe in, it's impossible for them not to give back. And huge. I didn't do it to get this. I mean, I do a very good living in real estate, and I'm able to service people. But if you do it for the intention and not the attention, things just start to happen.
I agree.
I love that. That's awesome. It's a great nugget right there.
Well, and I think it gets back to...
It's funny. I call them knowledge nuggets on my show.
Yeah.
I love that.
Do.
Yeah, no, and that's like so one of my words is just heart. So I always think about, like you said, the intention. It's like, I'm going to serve with heart. So heart. If I know I'm bringing everything, like all the love and all the energy and heart into this, like I can't go wrong. And it's just similar kind of.
100%.
Oh, it's exactly.
It aligns with that. Yeah, it's great.
Well, and I think, you know, doing what we're doing, you have to come from a mind of service because this isn't an easy thing to do. It's not an easy, and no business really is easy. You don't just waltz into a business and have overnight success. I mean, sure, you hear these stories where people just had something happen, but a lot of times they've been grinding behind the scenes and nobody's really seen the work. And then all of a sudden they come out and people are like, they've had this massive success overnight. You know, no, they probably did. They probably were grinding back there. So I think you do have to come into this realm that we're in with that idea that it's kind of a passion project and you enjoy it. And in the process of doing that, you're helping other people. And that's when you get the pay, you get the return payback. So
Absolutely.
I think that's awesome. I love it.
So you mentioned, or we mentioned in the bio that volunteering is big for you. Do you align with your company? What sort of organizations do you align with, or, you know, as far as your give back, as far as the volunteering, do you have like a couple in particular that you are partnered with, or?
No, I appreciate you asking that, Brianna. I do a ton with veterans. You know, I did, 6 tours, so I do a lot for the veterans that are transitioning out of military into the civilian world. So I do a lot with that, lot with that. Probably something almost every weekend, at least 3 weekends a month with veterans transitioning. And also I have a soft spot in my heart for pets, do a lot with pets, finding them homes. All 3 of my fur babies, are my pit bull and my 2 cats are all rescues. And then I got, it's called CAP, Children Awaiting Parents. I'm a child of adoption, and I was adopted a little bit older, and it's for, children that aren't really adoptable. So I do a lot of volunteer work for them and work the phones to try to get people to take notice of the kids that really need to be adopted.
Oh, I love it. It's just that's so important and special. And that's just a conversation Jennifer and I have a lot for Starter Girls, is really, making sure that we are aligning and providing sort of that contribution piece or that give back piece. So it's just really neat to hear you just how passionate you are about volunteering, because I wish that I was like super passionate about volunteering. I don't know that I really, I mean, I enjoy it once I'm in it, but I, and maybe it's because I'm a mom of 3 and I feel like I'm always like give like all the time. And so there's not a whole lot left, you know, but I do, but I really admire that. And I think it's neat when I hear people who love to volunteer and just awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
it's fun and so much stuff to do here in South Florida. Like you're in Dallas, like I'm in South Florida. So there's always something going on at all times, you know, so with their events and whatnot. But no, I 100% get it, where sometimes I just don't feel like I'm up to it. But then once I get there, like you, Brianna, you say you get there and you're like, So yeah, it's getting there is sometimes half the battle, but it's something I'm really passionate about for sure.
So cool.
Well, I wanted to say something too, because I just found out, we just found out some cool stuff about Scott that I didn't know. But I will say something, because animals are kind of my, that could be our other, if we needed an extra charity to align with, because every animal that is part of my menagerie in my house, I say menagerie because many of them were my children's pets and somehow they became mine. But we have a zoo. They were all rescues. All of them were rescues. We do all of our pets.
That's very cool.
And I have a pit bull too named Cece, and she's crazy. I've had 2 pit bulls that I've rescued. And so, yes, I'm very passionate about animals, and some of my money goes to some of those organizations to, I wish I could save them all. I can't. I wish I could.
Right. It's so tough.
Yeah. Open up like a dog, like a dog haven and like cat haven, whatever. Save them all. The rabbits, all of them, you know.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So I had a question and then I just totally I know what I was going to ask you, Scott. Because you've been an entrepreneur for quite some time, and we're both entrepreneurs, and a lot of people that are listening to our show are entrepreneurs. So I want to ask kind of a serious, fun question here. So if you were going to give some advice to maybe somebody that is starting out, like, I don't know, maybe they want to do a podcast, or maybe they want to get into real estate. I don't know, whatever, or affiliate marketing. I've been in that too. So you and I have a parallel in that as well. What kind of advice would you give to somebody that's starting out? Because you've been in this for a while. You've been in the game for a while.
I'd probably say 1, do it scared, period. 2, get your asking gear. You're going to be needing the questions, write them down, get your asking gear, and find the people that can answer them. And remember that inch by inch, it's a cinch. By the art, it's hard. Those are 3 things I'd say.
That's good. It's almost like you had that plan, or you've done this before.
Yeah, it's all written down on the walls around me. No, do it scared comes from our good friend Berta Medina, who you might know.
Yes, I know the name. Yes.
Yeah, and get your asking gear is another good friend of mine, Leah Woodford. Mm-hmm. She runs the Smart Femme Network, all women. Mm-hmm. Although I'm speaking at her all women event in October in Arizona.
That's awesome.
And it's just I'm a big regurgitator. I go way back, all the way to Seneca, Aristotle, and just kind of pull their stuff forward. So yeah, those are the 3 things that were really stood out to me that really can make it work. I mean, you're going to have to grind. That's the bottom line. You have to enjoy every second of the journey, no matter how sucky it gets. And, and most of all, have fun.
There's a lot of good stuff there. I think the first one, I like the very first one. All of them are good, but I like the first one. Do it scared.
Have you ever found yourself in a position as you're on the journey where you feel like, okay, either this business or this venture didn't work out. I'm in a hole. How the heck am I going to get out? And then you get past it, and then you're up onto the next thing, right? I just feel like the entrepreneurial journey is such a roller coaster, and it's easier probably to just throw the towel in and go, well, I guess it didn't work out. I guess I'm not cut for this. But we were talking earlier on another podcast just about the importance of not quitting. Mm-hmm. And I just think that as an entrepreneur, it's so important to play the long game, basically.
Yeah. Sure. Well, absolutely. Winners are going to make adjustments. Mediocre people are going to make excuses. And that's just how life is. It was said a lot differently than that by Pat Summitt. She was the winningest coach in college basketball for a long time. She said winners make excuses, losers make excuses, winners make adjustments. I don't like to use the word loser. It's just more like mediocre. It's more my flavor. And it's true. There's been failed things where the real estate market went sour in '08, and I tried insurance and I absolutely failed. Instead of going back to what I knew best and adjusting and making adjustments to the real estate business, which I ultimately did and thrived from it. But I just really think that you should stick to your path that you're really good at, passionate about, that you wake up every day, you're ready to rock. And and you're doing everything in the service of people consistently. So, you got to love what you do in the service of people that love what you do. Right. So that's the thing, is that's I do what I love in the service of people that love what I do. So it's just kind of my way of that. I've always looked at it. Now it's been 12 years since I've had a major struggle, almost 13 years, whatever 2008 is. So like more, I guess 13 years. And since I've had that, but the struggle was real at that time, but I learned valuable lessons through that, about, responsibility and responsibility is the ability to respond, and I had to, no matter what comes up now, I can respond and not just react. And, but to answer your question, Brianna, I folded up shop a couple times, a couple different things, but it was always because I was trying to go away from my passion and find something new and shiny instead of sticking to what I was really good and passionate about.
Oh, that's so good. I'm sitting here. Two things I want to say about this. So I just did an article yesterday for a magazine because I got accepted to do these magazine articles, and so I just submitted one yesterday. And I was talking about this very thing, Scott, about how I started the paper off talking about running naturally because that's what I talk about, and talking about how when we're doing things we love to do, we realize that when we have a bad moment, something wasn't in our favor that day. We make adjustments, evaluate, pivot, and we get back up and live another day to do the thing we love to do. But when we're doing something that is not something we're passionate about, we actually sabotage our behavior or sabotage the activity, and it's something that I recognize in Brianna. I've shared this on multiple podcasts with Brianna in here. The previous companies that I was in, one of them, in fact, I just shut the door after 21 years. And I was sold on this company for many years, had success in it very quickly. But I would have success and I'd fall off or I'd get burnt out. And I realized, after 18 years of doing that there were pieces in there that were not really aligning with my core values, were not aligning with how I saw myself doing my business. And I didn't realize that I was actually sabotaging my behavior. I kept fighting things. Like I would be like, okay, we're excited about this. I got to do this. And it wasn't just this, I don't want to do it. It was all the time. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I want to do this. So I think that is so important. We do that so much. We navigate away and then pull ourselves back to what is it that we're really passionate about and pairing that up with our talents. Because when we do that, then we work from a state of flow. We work effectively. And it's not as
And imagine if you didn't quit what you were doing to go try something else, where you would be.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you would have just stayed it and found a way to get around that obstacle or over it or crush it, then that's lessons that I even learned to this day, guys. It's like sometimes I'm like, man, so, but that's what's fun about this entrepreneurial journey is you get to learn. You wake up basically unemployed every day. You have to find somebody that's going to interview you to do something, and which is fine. I wouldn't want to live any other way.
That's so great.
I still plan to live to 100.
Yeah,
but,
that's so good.
It is good.
You're unemployed every day.
I booked a hotel where my husband and family were all going to Mexico next month, and I booked this hotel experience. And my husband goes, "Awesome! How are we going to pay for that?" I go, I'm gonna sell 3 courses this week. That's it. That's all I gotta do. I'm gonna sell 3 of my courses this week, and it's done. Like, he just starts laughing. He's like, "Okay."
It's an entrepreneurial life.
I know.
Every day you're unemployed.
Find 3 people to buy my online course. Okay.
Well, at least you got the vision. That's what you gotta have. You got the vision,
right?
And you know what you're gonna do. So hey, but that is the life of an entrepreneur. I feel like it is. Every day you wake up, you're your boss. You've got to decide what you're going to do that day. Like, are you going to make money or you're not going to make money, right?
True. Yeah.
That's how it is. I love it. There was something else I was going to tell you that you said was really good, but I just got hung up on the whole passion thing because I feel like so many people in life, if you think about this, so many people, they go to college to get a degree, to do something that they're really not even that passionate about, but they get it because it's a check. It's going to be their income, right? And then they work this career. Remember Pratiti, who came on our show, we talked about this. They stay in that till retirement, And then they go, oh, well, that was a fun ride. Okay, now what do? I mean, that was my life. I saved my money for my 401k. I feel okay. But they've never done anything that they love doing, right?
Yeah, they took the safe journey, the safe path.
Because it was comfortable and safe.
Well, and more because their parents said that is stable. Like that.
Right.
This is a secure, stable, responsible choice.
But it's not necessarily.
Well, yeah, but
you don't know if you have a job tomorrow.
True.
You know, I mean,
No.
that's how I learned it being.
It's funny. I actually worked for XM Satellite Radio years ago. So when you mentioned XM, I thought, before it became serious. So right before the merger, I worked in advertising sales for XM.
Nice.
And that was before, it was actually around 2008. It was before we relocated from LA to Dallas. And I was trying to figure out, am I going to get laid off during this merger, And I really enjoyed it, but that's the thing. When you're in corporate America, you really don't know. You don't have control over that.
No. So that's
Anyway,
not necessarily safe either. So
Right.
I mean, but I think you just do things scared. You just do things. You do things. If you want to do them, you do them. That's my
Absolutely.
motto. You do them.
Get busy living or get busy dying. A little Shawshank Redemption, movie quote.
Yeah.
Live by, right?
I love it.
Might as well live. Enjoy the stuff. Like I have friends that are, I'm coming up on 50 in a couple months, and my friends have not experienced a lot. And they're like, I'm waiting until I'm 62, 65. I'm like, dude, I can't do that.
No.
I'm too much of I'm curious. I'm too curious, I moved down here from Detroit 7 years ago. They're like, Fergie, what are you doing? I'm out. They're like, you have a thriving real estate business. I'm like, I'll build one in Florida. This is how I look at it,
Yeah.
and just, roll the dice. And now I wake up with the sun over the ocean and just, I'm grateful, and I thank my creator every day.
That's awesome.
It is. It's beautiful.
I love it. That's
Good
why
for
we
you.
have to like talking to people that are living the
That's right, baby.
extraordinary. We like
Look,
it.
baby.
We like it. It's
Yes.
so good. Scott, you're doing amazing things. I'm excited about your podcast. I think you got some good stuff going there. And I follow his stuff, so I see some of the things that are coming through there, and you get some incredible people on there. I love it. And how many shows do you do per week now? I feel like you got a couple.
We're revamping the system. We used to drop 5,
Okay,
right?
yeah,
We're revamping it a little bit and moving some stuff around. But I just wanted to make sure by doing that, I was still leveling up and keeping the momentum going, which now I'm getting a lot of emails, where's the shows? So I know that I need to put more out. Getting a lot of those almost every day. Like, hey, what's going on? And I have them booked or recorded and editing and everything, but we're just working on back end stuff, and we're just going to keep rolling them out. So I think we dropped show like episode 222, and we should probably be in the 250s, but again, I wanted to back down on a few things, make sure people weren't getting over saturated, send out a lot of questionnaires. I'm really big on list building. I have a list of over 100,000 emails, and so I stay pretty intimate with the list. I put out surveys, am I putting out enough or whatnot, and just I'm getting a lot of answers back. Like, we've been trying to tune in, and it's nothing new since like last Monday or something. So
yeah,
a lot more is going to be starting to come out. We just had to fit sponsorship models in there and all that other stuff. So
yeah,
it's going good though.
It's awesome. No, I was gonna say he is very efficient because his stuff is like, it's like email goes. I mean, everything is like
Killer. I love it.
So you got whatever you're doing, it's working. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got
When's Brianna coming on?
Let's go. Sign me
Show-
up.
If we can sell some of those courses for her.
Yeah,
right.
she'll come
That'd be
on there. She'll be
incredible.
fun. You'll have fun. Maybe she'll sing for you, Scott. Might get her to sing.
Right.
We didn't.
Rock
We
on.
didn't.
I'll
We
bring
haven't done
my
any.
book.
Yeah, we haven't done any singing on this episode yet.
Ah.
Yeah, we haven't done any. I feel like maybe we need to ask him. We need to ask him a music question.
Oh,
we
music
might.
question.
Okay, Scott, we got to do some fun questions here. We're gonna get unserious
Do it.
now. We're gonna do some fun. Do you want to start? Or do you want me to start?
Yes, let's go. So you were in, do we still call it Detroit Music City? Didn't we? Right? Is Detroit Music City?
Motown?
Motown. Yeah. Okay. So you're from Detroit? Are you
Yeah,
from there?
I grew up in a suburb of Detroit, correct.
Okay. So then you have that access, right, to Motown and music and all the things. Did you kind of grow up listening to, loving music? And if so, what was your favorite show? Like your favorite concert? First concert?
That's good.
My first concert, and I'm going to
Yes.
age myself.
I don't
No,
care.
first
That's
concert.
why this question is
We
so
already know
great.
you and I are pretty close in age, and I'm pretty sure Chris is the same. Chris is in the same. Brianna might be a teeny bit younger.
I'm
She's
a
not
teeny
much.
bit younger. I'm not
Teeny
that
bit,
much younger.
not much.
My very first concert was Sean Cassidy. Not
Sean-
I was 5 years.
Oh my
I was
God!
4.5 years old. Sean Cassidy.
Scott.
You know, David
Ooh.
Cassidy's younger brother.
Yes.
Not even lying.
Yeah.
Scott, I just had this conversation the other day because I had his cassette. I had a
I had the concert stub ticket right over.
I had
Oh,
Sean
man.
Cassidy
No, you
in
don't. That's
cassette.
amazing. I love it.
You because we were little when he was popular. Like I had a I just had this conversation
That
with
is so
somebody the other
cool.
day. I'm like, I had this. We were talking about because I was talking about this kid on TikTok right now that they're all comparing to. He's like all over TikTok. He keeps showing up on my feed, and all these cougar women are going nuts. And he's like, they keep comparing him to Rob Lowe and stuff. And so they were talking about music, and I was talking about Teen Bop and like all these young
Teen Bop.
And I think I think I saw a picture of Sean Cassidy. I'm like, I used to have a Sean Cassidy cassette. And I used to play it in my little cassette player, you know. And I was
love
little.
it.
I think my
It's
mother
so-
bought it for me. My mom probably had a crush on Sean Cassidy, and she got it for me. Who knows?
I had a
Kill it.
turntable, literally, like the old plastic turntables. And my dad, he didn't let me. My dad was a music, like he used to bounce and work security for a lot of like Bob Seger and
Okay.
Dylan, and so I got to meet some really, really cool people. I mean, my dad's a giant, you know, of a man, and you know, I got to meet some really cool people when I was younger and stuff. So, but yeah, it's like he wouldn't let me touch his turntable, like in the living room at all.
So you had
he
your
gave
own-
me
I
this
had-
plastic one.
I had one too, one of them little plastic
Yeah.
things. Yeah, that's so awesome. Yeah, we were talking about that when I went on his
That
show.
is so cool.
He asked me like what my favorite. I remember this. What was my favorite genre of music? And I said 80s because
All right.
So,
yeah.
I'm a
Big
music.
hair, don't care.
I'm a music
Good time.
fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so.
I
Ozone
keep-
killers.
I know. I keep seeing pictures in Facebook where people keep putting pictures of us. You know, of course, they never got any me because I hid. But they keep putting pictures up, and I'm like, man, we had some ugly hair. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know what that was. That puff up bang stuff we
but
did.
mine was like a side puff up bang with the side ponytail, and it was like,
yeah, we took the curling iron and actually curled the bangs under, and then
and top. So we would go under,
Yeah.
and then
back,
the back,
and then-
and then spray it. And like, what was that? And perms, like perms. I mean, like, you know.
All right.
I'm like, that's crazy stuff. Okay. So, who's that? You just kind of spilled some stuff about meeting some people. Okay, so who's the coolest person you've ever met then,
Yeah,
Scott?
yeah.
Who's the coolest person?
Celebrity.
I've been like a Forrest Gumped out, man, like with my life. For some reason I ended up in certain spots. Like Bob Seger probably was like one of my favorite ever
awesome.
hang out
He
with
is
and
awesome.
be in a room where there was some really crazy smelling stuff in the air. That was pretty cool when I was like 5 years old.
His voice is
I
something
got to
else.
meet
Are we going to start
I
singing?
got to meet Queen Elizabeth. Met Queen Elizabeth. Shook her
Awesome.
hand. Which was pretty cool. You know, I was in the military. I was holding some security, and she came on and shook my hand, gave me a kiss on the cheek. So it was royal.
So awesome.
Oh,
Pretty
wow.
neat.
That is really neat.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, you could sit. We could when Scott comes to town. When he comes to Dallas, we'll have to sit down and he can like share all his stories, some more stories
Would
with
love
us.
We're gonna have some fun.
Yeah,
There's Casey Haston. There's
Yes.
you. There's KG, Karen Gray. You know, there's some bunch
Mm-hmm.
of people that I just want to have a night. We
Let's
just
do
go
it.
out and have a really
and
good
we're
time.
friends with
There's
all of them. So you haven't met Casey yet, but she's
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
She's fun.
We'd love
Trevor
to.
Houston. You know, all those guys and girls are over there. So
Mm-hmm.
we're
Cool.
gonna have a lot of fun in Texas.
Yeah, we'd love to see you.
Very cool. Well, Scott, this has been fun. If our listeners want to check out, Time to Shine Today podcast, check out, see what you're doing, what you're up to, where do we send them?
I would just go to timetoshinetoday.com/podcast. My site is being rebuilt. The podcast is the only thing that stays on point for every app that we drop. And then Time to Shine Today across the, social medias, or, ask for Ferguson, ASK, the number 4 Ferguson is where all my kind of personal stuff
Okay.
is. So
Very cool.
good stuff though. I'm just so privy. Thank you so much for having me on.
So awesome. If you get an email from Fergie, that's him.
All right. I can't wait.
You'd be
Let's
like,
do this.
You'd be like, who's Fergie? And then you go, that's Scott.
Fergie
Yes.
Fergalicious.
Yes, Fergalicious.
That's right.
All right,
So
Scott,
delicious.
So nice to
this
meet
has been
you.
so awesome.
You
Thanks
guys
for,
too.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on here. It's been great and catching up with you. I'm glad that we got to do this. It was fun. So, of course, we do want to say to our listeners, if you enjoy our podcast, please be sure you give us a rating both on iTunes and Facebook. We can't do this without you. And hit that subscribe button on YouTube.
And head over to startergirls.com and pick up that free gift so we can keep in touch.
That's right. And I got to drop my last little nuggets of wisdom here,
Yeah.
right?
What you got for us?
This one's actually good because I think it's going to be really good for for Scott. I tried to pick all these out today to fit the people. So without service, we would not have a strong quality of life. It's important to the person who serves as well as the recipient. It's the way in which we ourselves grow and develop. And that is by Dr. Dorothy Height. And I want to finish up with, in order to have success, you must start, and every start begins with a decision. All right, you guys, take care, be safe, and be kind to one another. We'll see you next time.